If I ran and owned Costco or Sam's Club or any of these big box retailers, I would do it differently. Okay. And I'm going to explain why. And I'm going to explain how I would do it and why. So I have another video that I created. It talked about sending your leads during the trial phase, during the close, sending them as a live transfer, meaning you call the customer, you call the business owner, you patch it together, and you send the lead. Okay. And so I do this because so many people are sending these leads and business owners aren't getting hold of them. Okay, which is the equivalent of giving out all these samples at Costco of this amazing product, but nobody actually tastes the product because they don't actually try it. You don't follow up with them. So here's what I would do, and please, somebody send this to Costco because I think this is brilliant, and this is how I would run Costco. So if I worked at Costco, or if I was in charge of like whatever sales or I don't know whatever the department is at Costco or Sam's Club, insert big box retailer right there. This is what I would say. This would be my suggestion. I would say, all right, here's the deal. If we're going to do this with cookies, if we're going to do this with hot dogs, if we're going to do this with sausage, if we're going to do this with energy drinks, here's what we're going to do. Number one, we are going to figure out how we can get data on our customers and make sure that we only give samples. This is if we're trying to cut costs, and which we're always trying to do. We're trying to get the most amount of money for the least amount of spend, right? Is I would say we're only going to give these samples to people that are in the market for these samples. So let's say we're doing cookies or biscuits wherever you're at in the world, depends on how you call it, right? I would say, all right, I want to know which of our members are already buying, let's think of some of the big brands, Mrs. Fields, Toll House, Nestle, whatever. Which of our members are already buying those brands? Those are the people I want to give samples to. And I'll give a great sample. I'll give 3-4 samples. I don't care. I would rather give all my samples to those people. The equivalent of that with my process that I train is I build a specific list and I only give my leads to specific types of business owners. I don't just go give free leads. Okay. Just so you guys know. So that'd be my number one requirement. I would tell Costco or if I own Costco. Number two is I would say, here's the deal. Those people, I will give them an incredible experience, 3 free cookies, a full energy drink, whatever. But here's the catch. Here's the stipulation. I want to make sure that these individuals taste and try and eat or drink whatever it is, that sample, so I can watch and make sure they tried it. Okay. Now, why is that? The reason why is because, guys, you can have the best cookie in the world. Like you could have a cookie that's like laced with the drugs. It's 100% addiction rate, whatever, right? Like that's so addictive that like people can't stop eating it. You could have that cookie or that drink or whatever. You get the best of any insert product here, okay? But if people and you could give it to people who are in the market for those products, but here's the problem. If they don't try that product, they don't actually taste it, they will never buy because they don't know. And so what happens a lot of time at Costco is it's just sample, 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 sample. And people, they get the sample and they give it to their kid, okay, because their kid's whining. Or they give it to whatever, they put it in their cart and then whatever gets cold, they throw it away, right? And so my requirement would be, hey, let's make sure that these customers, I'm happy to give a really, really good sample, a couple cookies, a full beverage, whatever it is, right? But you got to eat it in front of me because I want to make sure you can taste it. And if they did those two things, is gave it to specific people that are already in the market and they made sure that you had to taste it on the spot, their conversion would go through the roof. Now, what does that have to do with my process and with selling flat fee lead gen? Everything. Okay. What I do is I only send leads. I only do trials with people who are already buying marketing, leads, advertising, Google ads, home advisor, etc. Right. So I have a specific list that I build and I only call those people and I only do trials with them because I know they're most likely to buy. Number one. Number two is I do give free samples just like Costco. But what I don't do is I don't just go shucking them out. Boom, 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 boom. Everybody try one. No. I give them to specific people and I make sure that they taste them. What do I mean by taste? I do a live transfer. When I get the first lead in, I get a hold of the customer, I get a hold of the business owner, I live transfer it. I make sure that they taste it, they feel it, they touch it, they schedule an estimate. Okay. Then I go to the next one. I don't send them a second lead until they've gotten the first one scheduled. And I don't send the third one until the number one and number two have been scheduled, and on and on and on. And that allows me to send, and I've said this in a previous video, that doing that one thing, that live transfer process, allows me to send less leads in a shorter over a shorter period of time and close more deals by doing that one single thing. So Costco, if you're listening, that is what I would do. It's going gangbusters with this strategy with selling flat fee lead gen. If you're somebody that is in the flat fee lead gen space, rank and rent, or wants to be, trust me when I say this, it's one thing to give out free samples. It's one thing to give out free leads. It's another thing to live transfer and make sure they taste those samples.